Okay. Let's see if I got this right. We are officially live on YouTube. What's going on, guys? This is Mainville UTV and Outdoors. A little bit of a live session. We like to do these once in a while. So if you have any questions or whatever, we can answer them. We can talk about it, the sport, ATVs, UTVs, whatever, you name it. Let's do it. I'm going to have a few things to pull up. We're going to see if this new setup actually works. We haven't done it like this before. Normally we do it in the garage with like a cell phone, and we try to walk around and show you the machine. So thought we'd do something a little more professional looking. I think it looks all right. And hopefully I've got the audio and the video and everything set up just fine. Looks like we've already got people in the chat. Can you guys hear me all right? Let's see. How's it going, Gecko family, Maple Ridge Outdoors? I see the membership symbol beside your name. That's pretty cool. Thank you again for supporting us. It sounds good. Right on. Can you hear me now? People are starting to come in, show up. If you guys have any questions or whatever, let's do it. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Jacob Bernatchez, Edwin. Oh, hey, Edwin. OG Sweden. Yeah. We will never forget, eh, buddy? Do I miss the valley? For some things. Some things I don't. Hey, Grant. Yeah, the truck is pretty sick. I mean, you know how new vehicles are. You love them to death, and you can't see any flaws. So as of right now, it's the best thing in the world. The new truck is pretty wild, to be honest. That thing, I've only honestly driven it a couple times. It is a luxury hay wagon, is what I like to call it. It definitely rides like a 1-ton, I'll tell you that. First time doing a YouTube live. This is actually our third YouTube live. We did 2 of them back in Ontario, and thought I'd set this one up here in the office. Thanks, Grant. You're very welcome for the stickers. Will I be upgrading the tires and maybe a lift? So if you're talking about the Duramax, I've actually already put 35 by 12.5s on it. It comes with 33s stock. I know I'm measuring like an American, but so we put that on, and we also did a leveling lift, so it's like 2 inches or so in the front. Your first live stream, Corey. Well, basically the way it works is there's a little bit of a delay, but I watch the chat and I talk to you guys and let you know I'm not just a robot and some guy you see on videos. Like, I'm a real human being. There's different ways of doing it. There's like super chat and like all sorts of other stuff going on too. There's a few features you can take a look at. You can also take a look and see if you're subscribed. Make sure you click that. And there's also a little join button if you want to support us. I am absolutely loving Saskatchewan. It is a hard way to live in general. The weather here is pretty wild, but when it's nice, it's really nice. Can we have a house tour? Well, I'll tell you this. This is pretty much all you will see of my house. I got to keep something for myself. I am near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And if you need some stickers, David, you can get a hold of us on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, all those platforms. Send us a message how many you want, and we'll make sure we sell you some. Yes, the Duramax is absolutely a diesel. So it's the 6.6 Duramax. L5P for people who want to get specific. With the 10-speed Allison. It's not really an Allison transmission, but it's Allison branded. So far that transmission's unreal. 10 speeds, you can't even feel it shift. Yeah, the sunsets in this province are absolutely gorgeous. For some reason I was like always being told that the sunrises and sunsets that were going to be completely different here. And I was like, whatever, and I brushed it off. But when you get out here, it's totally true. They're wild. And they're like in the sky for 2 hours. They last forever because there's nothing blocking them. This place is so flat. Am I ever going to ride with Osta Cruiser? We have definitely reached out. We've talked a handful of times, but they've got a house build going on right now. The world's kind of crazy, if you haven't noticed also, but totally, I'm going to make sure we get together for a ride. I'm thinking of getting a bike next summer. What do you recommend a new rider with a family? So are you talking about ATVs or side-by-sides? You'll have to specify what you're looking for. Show off my guitar skills. Yeah, so I play a little bit of guitar for sure. Maybe one day, we'll see. It's not exactly what this channel's about. What do you think of the 2021 Outlander XTP? So the XTP is a really awesome platform actually because it allows you to do a 1000cc short frame. So you can build it up like an XMR and you can put a rad relocate and everything like that. So you can get an Outlander short frame. That's probably the coolest thing about it. Also, the suspension is really dialed in, really nice, really soft. So if you're a trail person, the XTP is awesome. So is the XT, to be honest. It's just a little bit lower grade, a little cheaper for you, a little more economy. Big thank you to Maple Ridge with the $9.99. You're awesome. Maple Ridge is actually one of our first members, part of the membership program. There's some perks, so he can use some different, what do you call them, emojis and stuff that I made up for you guys. And we're doing some new features all the time for the members. You won't miss out on any videos or anything like that if you don't subscribe, so you don't have to do that. Don't worry about it. But if you do, there's some pretty cool features. Check it out. So thanks again, Maple Ridge. How's it going, Donnie? I hope I'm saying that right. Donnie Jasiki. Everyone, very rarely, there's the emojis there from Maple Ridge. He also gets a little member symbol on the side. Everybody has pretty unique names on YouTube, I find, so it's not always just your name, for example, which would be too easy. And then some people's names, I don't know, sometimes I just can't read, apparently. I live in Westport, Ontario, lots of Can-Ams. There's certainly a lot of Can-Ams. I've been to a lot of events the last couple of years, and I have to say they are easily the most common machines here in Canada. The States, it changes a little bit. You'll see a lot of Polaris there, but I think Can-Am is starting to win that market over too. That's perfect because I just ordered an XTP 1000 short frame and expect delivery in June. Congrats. I'm glad you got a machine because right now getting one is next to impossible. Oh, my phone is going off. I'm just super famous like that. It's probably just my mom, to be honest. I'll turn down the volume. My mom's my biggest fan. Cassandra is in the chat. If you have any questions for her, go ahead and ask. You'll see a little moderator symbol beside her name. What else we got here? Moto vlogs this summer. So are you asking about videos on a motorcycle or like more ATV videos? Because Cass does ride motorcycle too. I just ordered a 2021 XMR in January and still not here. Yeah. So that's kind of the world we live in. There's definitely a big gap in manufacturing. Even though they're manufacturing pretty well fully at this point now, it's going to take a while to catch up. So manufacturing of parts and everything has to get to Can-Am. They have to catch up on existing orders, new orders, and then obviously make changes. So that's why they actually had that weird half year for the first time Can-Am's ever done that. So you'll notice that there's two 2021 Outlanders. The 2021 that's gray and green, that actually doesn't have the four-lock system, and that's a 2021 in the first two quarters. And then you'll see the new 2021 XMR in that yellow, and it has the four-lock. So that they did a half-year thing. So they're doing their best to catch up. How is Mama Bear? Mama Bear is doing good. If you're referring to Cass, she is doing very good. And she's in the chat if you want to talk to her. As far as my RAM, Jeff Alehouse, it is gone. So I sold it. I absolutely loved that truck. Honestly, it was one of the best trucks I've ever owned. The difficulty was we are getting bigger and bigger and towing more and more, and going longer distance. We want to do more trips when the world's a little less on fire. And a diesel was just the best way to go. Cassandra is absolutely more pretty than I am. And Diesel is definitely more handsome than I am. Diesel's probably on the couch in the living room, staring out the window, barking at things that go by. Cass did not get lost in Saskatchewan. She is just in the other room. Hello from Elbow, Saskatchewan. Is that a real place, Elbow? That's not surprising. We bought the Kubota Black Sidekick. That's an awesome side-by-side. It's very unique in its own little way. Because of your Beast video. I was on the fence, but you seemed to like it. Now we love it. Thank you for your review. That's really cool, and I'm glad I could help a little bit. I'm getting better and better at doing videos. I'm always kind of self-conscious of the videos that I've done in the past because I know I can do a better job, and moving forward, I'm going to try my best. But if you got anything useful out of that video, that's awesome, and I'm glad it helped. Nice Duramax. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. The Chevy, so I've only actually driven it a handful of times, and like I was saying earlier, basically, when you get a new truck, there's always that new feel. So if there is anything that I don't like about it yet, I don't know it yet. When I get in that thing, you just feel like you're on top of the world. It's awesome. Even before my little leveling lift and 35-inch tires, that is a huge stock OEM truck. Like, it is massive. I measured the hood at 65 inches. So grab a measuring tape and put 65 inches up, and that's the top of my hood from the ground. It's unreal. They're such big trucks. So if I actually did a real lift on that thing, it'd be wild. Always watching from New York. Thanks, G&G Schoolboy. If you had to buy a new machine today, what would you buy? I get this question a lot, actually. So as far as new machines, let's start with the ATVs. I would definitely do an Outlander again. I would do it a little differently, but I would not choose anything else for my personal machine. I'm not brand loyal or anything. I'm just really comfortable with Outlanders. I think they basically do it all. I know the ins and outs. I know how they ride. I know how they feel. And it's perfect. I've never had any issues. I think it's a wonderful machine. But when it comes to side-by-sides, that gets a little harder for me because there's probably about 4 picks, I think, that I would choose. In no particular order, I like the Maverick Sport 1000 NA. I like the new Commander, which is basically a Maverick Sport but with a box. So it's kind of like the Outlander to Renegade experience there. I don't like the X3s whatsoever, before anyone asks. But I do love Defenders too. So I would do like a full cab Defender. And the oddball is the R-Max, the Yamaha R-Max. I think it's a wonderful, unreal machine. So I'm looking to get my hands on it. What's going on from Snow Lake, Manitoba? Snow Lake. Oof, sounds cold. See everyone's chatting up a storm with Cass. Thoughts on the Renegade 570 XMR? I think that's my next buy. So the 570 and 650 platforms are pretty much the best bang to buck machines you can buy. There's certainly nothing wrong with them. They make more power than other brands' higher end machines. And with the right features, I honestly don't think you would need more. Anyone who's realistic in buying a machines, so basically anyone not like me, 570, 650, you're going to have a blast. Trail ride, mudding, or yard work, whatever. There's plenty of ponies there. Don't let anyone say otherwise. They're fantastic machines. It's northeast of Hudson Bay. Oh, okay, right on. Well, obviously, if you guys watch our videos, we've been to Hudson Bay. Quite a few times. Don't mind me, I'm just going to have an apple juice. What else we got going on in here? Did I miss anything? I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. Tends to get a little complicated sometimes. I see Cass is trying to tell people not to encourage me, but I think she knows better. We have this love-hate relationship when I want to buy things. She keeps me in check, and she's a wonderful woman for it. Because honestly, I would totally get us broke. That sounded like a sparkling apple. I don't know what you mean by that. What's the best mud tire for a 14-inch rim? That is probably the widest question you could have asked. 14-inch rims being the most common ATV side-by-side rim. You pretty much have the pick of any tire, because 12-inch tires are pretty much going extinct. And larger rims are becoming more popular, but 14 is definitely the most popular still right now. But you could get anything. For me, the best pure mud tire, honestly, is an Assassinator. There's no comparison to any other tire as far as I'm concerned. There's obvious problems with them, with their weight and the fact that they break things. But if you're looking for just a mud tire that works absolutely best in mud, it's absolutely an Assassinator. There's other great alternatives, obviously. Moto Havocs, Outlaws, whatever you want to do. There's a plethora of them. Even Cryptids. Everyone likes to hate on them, but I think they're fantastic. Out here in Alberta is a must-try area to ride, maybe next year. I would love to do some Alberta riding. Our plan is to definitely do a little bit of Manitoba, Alberta, and BC while we're here. Obviously, we're covering Saskatchewan to the best of our ability. Right now, with the border restrictions and everything like that, it's next to impossible to do it legally. Anyway. Raptor Crazy. No, this is my Canadian apple juice. It's the sweetest apple juice. What else we got here? Save the 12-inch rims. Yeah, they're going extinct. Like Cass has 12-inch rims, so a lot of lower end ATVs, and I say it like that because I don't think there is such thing as a lower end ATV. They come with 12-inch rims, and she did her best, and she picked a great tire. And honestly, those sledgehammers that she has on there, they are for a 12-inch rim. I think they're actually done manufacturing them. You guys might have to check out the CST website and see if that's true or not. But I heard they're done with the 12-inch rim tires. Would I get another max frame Outlander? So no, I'm just going to tell you straight up, no, I would not get another max frame Outlander. They have plenty of perks. The problem is I don't need any of those perks. They are fantastic at climbs and, whatever the opposite of a climb is. And they do have a little bit more weight. The platform is very sturdy, and generally on the max frames, the suspension is quite stiff, which makes them pretty good mud ATVs. Otherwise, there's no other perks. Like, I've tried a lot of short frames at this point now, and I'm definitely going short frame. The only reason I went long initially was because Cass didn't have an ATV and she was riding with me. Do you think a Honda 500 would turn Assassinators without a gear reduction? It would certainly turn them all the way to the grocery store, and that's about it. If you want to run Assassinators on a Honda and actually use them, you're going to need a serious gear reduction. When you do that, they work amazingly. Do you miss riding in the Calabogie Renfrew area? That's in Ontario where we were before. Stumble upon your channel looking for info on what the area had to offer, and your videos were a great help. So I do miss it. It's a whole other kind of riding. It's a fantastic area. It's beautiful. It offers a ton. You can ride for days, and if you want to go and get food, or I miss being able to ride a huge infrastructure to like my buddy's house, for example. So there's definitely some things to miss about Ontario riding. There is a whole other world here that I think is fantastic, and I'm enjoying the change, especially province to province, so close out here. You can do a lot of interesting stuff. Hey, how's it going? I met you guys at the Toronto Sportsman Show last year. Cheers. Jeff Backcountry. I'm glad to have met you. We met a lot of people that day, and it was pretty wild, busy day, but we had a really good time, so I'm glad we got to meet. What is my favorite trail system in Eastern Ontario? I've answered that question a few times. In Eastern Ontario, it depends how you look at Eastern Ontario. Like, is Eastern like east of Ottawa, for example? Most of the best riding is west of Ottawa and beyond. So I would just say that my favorite system, one that I suggest to everybody, is the VMUT system in Mattawa, Ontario. Because you can go there for a weekend with all your buddies, see the whole system, and there's like different stuff to do every day, and there's great riding. The 666 trail is unreal. You'll have a blast. Y'all should get a Honda Recon 200 to 300 and just mess around with it. I thought about getting a Foreman. I love Foremans. I love three-wheelers. It's what I grew up on. Or a 4Trax, any of those. There's plenty of small ATVs that I would have a really good time with. I would love to modify, and you can do it really cheap. So if I ever found one that was in good enough shape, I would definitely do it. I've been subscribed since the very beginning. I've watched your videos. I have to unsubscribe and subscribe again with bells on, and I don't get your videos unlike 2 days later. I'm sorry to hear that. I guess the only thing you can do is just make sure that the bell notification's on. If not, you can join our Facebook group or Instagram, all those places, and it'll let you get notified. And I put posts every time I put up a video, so you won't miss it. Where do I actually live? Well, I'm not going to give you my address, but we're south of Saskatoon in Saskatchewan, Canada, if that's relevant to you. What have I missed? You missed a lot of conversation, but don't worry, at the end of this stream, this video will be up for everyone else to watch, so if any of these questions are relevant to anybody else, then they will also get their answer. What else do we have going on here? I'm really glad that this live stream setup is actually working out. I kind of cobbled it together, and I actually got my DSLR to live stream, which is not the easiest thing in the world. Obviously, I have some lighting. I can like mess with the lighting and do all that stuff. I have a little remote, and obviously a microphone. I'm looking mighty professional at this point. Feeling pretty good about it. You got to fake it till you make it. I went through most of your videos, and I like everyone, so now I know I watched it already. There's so many. We definitely slowed down in making videos, but yeah, we put out, I don't know, 270 videos at this point or something like that. Plenty to watch. Don't go too far back, because a lot of those videos were pretty awful. I'm getting better, I promise. A couple more years, I might actually be good at this YouTube thing. Where did I live in Ontario? We lived about an hour west of Ottawa, near Pembroke. We miss you, that's why. Well, I promise you, we are absolutely trying our best to get content out. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this live stream. I just want to touch base with everybody who's been watching and supporting us this long. Oh, and a big shout out to the 16 new members. So if you haven't noticed, there's a join button down below. 16 of you have joined up. We actually had one in the chat earlier talking to us. You can tell by the little M symbol beside their names. I just want to thank them for their support. You guys are awesome. And thank you so much. You ever ride the dunes an hour south of you, completely different than the mud? If there's dunes that I can ride an hour south of me, please let me know where that is. Send us a Facebook message so I can find out where that is, and I'll go riding in some dunes. Makes sense that Saskatchewan has some. It's a dust bowl. I went right to the start, and it wasn't bad as you think your videos are. Well, I appreciate that, because I won't even watch my first video. I was so nervous doing the first few videos. I don't know if it's what everyone experiences, but putting yourself out there on video and trying to get your message across and all that stuff, it's really hard, especially when you don't understand the camera gear and the uploading process, editing, all that stuff. So it's pretty daunting when you first start out, but obviously 2-3 years later, things change. Need more Kodiak videos. I agree. We'll get on that, I promise. I've been watching you since before you had gray hair. You haven't, because I've had gray hair since high school. It's just my camera is getting better and better, so you're starting to see the shine. I'm an old soul on the inside. Will you ever come back to Ontario? So we move very often for work and that kind of thing. So there's a very high chance we're moving back to Ontario at some point. But it's pretty random where we move. It's not up to us. Thoughts on 29.5 by 8 Assassinators? Not many seem to run them, but Moto Havocs are narrow. So 29.5 by 8 Assassinators are actually very, very common. They're one of the easiest tires to fit on an Outlander and Renegade. Renegade, you can actually go to a 32 with some floorboards and stuff like that. The 8-inch wide Assassinators are definitely the way to go. I would not do 10 wides unless you're like side by side or something like that. They cause a lot of fitment issues and you got to screw around with them. I did end up getting them to work, but they're a bit of a pain in the butt. So Moto Havocs are kind of an up and comer in the last year or so. And they aren't replacing Assassinators because they're not as good as Assassinators in mud, but Moto Havocs are still really good in mud, and they're a little more trail-worthy with the flat profile on them. So I would definitely check out either of those. That's another thing about the Moto Havocs is they're significantly lighter than the Assassinators. We actually have a Let's Talk About Tires video, if you go far enough back. We were still living in Ontario, to give you an idea. And we actually weighed them and checked them out. I binge watched your whole Outlander build. I love them all and picked up on a lot of little things. Right on, Corey. I'm glad any of it could be helpful. So, there's a lot of learning curve. Sometimes I make mistakes and then I have to fix them, but I try to share that information with everybody else so that it doesn't get screwed up for you too. Cast the Kodiak videos, that's you. We need more videos. Yeah, we need to do more videos in general. I agree, 100% agree. I feel like I missed a bunch of these. Ask Kyle about his dream three-wheeler build. Yeah, so I actually have a bunch of three-wheelers. Cass is talking about three-wheelers in the chat. So I grew up on three-wheelers. I've had roughly 7 of them in my life. Tons and tons and tons of them. I've rebuilt them. I made Franken-trikes, I like to call them, where I combined one trike with another trike just to get them running. You can find them for like $100 behind someone's barn and you put them together. I think my favorite, there's 2 really rare three-wheelers that I would love to have in my life as like a collector's edition. A 250R and a 350X. So if any of you have one of those, message me. I'll spend all the monies. All the monies. Am I getting a new ATV? Probably not, after pretty much emptying my wallet on that brand new Duramax. We'll see. We'll see. Pretty sure Cass will have an aneurysm if I ask for a quad too. I had 2 three-wheelers. I think both were Honda 250s. So the 250s were the shaft drive. I think they were all shaft drive. I had a 250 ES at one point. They're fantastic. If you're talking about the 250R, the 2-strokes, they are absolutely wild and very, very rare, very expensive, especially if it has decent plastics and stuff. Like, you'll see them go up to like 15 grand. It's pretty wild, especially one that's running. Play us a tune on that electric, Kyle. I don't think so. Another day. Another day. What would be the exact build you would do currently? 850 XT, but I wish I went with an XTP for certain things, or XT. What build would I would do? Off the top of my head, I would probably do an XTP Outlander, or maybe even an XXC. And then I would basically XMR convert it. So I would do the 4-lock in the front, and then rad relocate on the top rack, which is really cool because you actually get some leftover rack so you can strap some stuff down. But that allows you to get a 1000 short frame and a few other perks like softer suspension and that kind of thing. And then I would kind of work up from there like I have with the last machine. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. Yeah, it's not the way we work. We do things together, everything together. I think you should give the truck to Cass. Oh, Cass is welcome to drive anything we own. What else we got going on here? They last a long time, those Honda three-wheelers, though. Yeah, they certainly do. Honestly, they're a little less common out here in Saskatchewan. There's lots of Yamahas, three-wheelers, Tri-Zeds or whatever they call them. But there's none in Ontario. And in Ontario, Quebec, there's tons and tons of Honda three-wheelers. Like, they're everywhere, littered everywhere. I'm asking about the... Oh, did I miss a message from you, Scott? It seems lift related for the Kodiak. I don't see that here. You'll have to ask your question again, Scott, sorry. Would you recommend a Yamaha 700 or a Can-Am 570? Personally, like, I'm not a loyal brand person. The Can-Am 570 will always win over the Yamaha 700. The 700 platform is completely outdated. Unless you're like doing a ranch or you need something for a property or whatever, yeah, like go ahead, buy the Yamaha. You have to put in way too much work to actually make them exciting like Cass's Mama Bear. The 570 out of the box will just outperform every day of the week, especially as a twin. Yes, as far as the... So, crazy fact, between Mischief and Mama Bear are two ATVs, and in general, we have never broken an axle, we have never ripped a boot, we've never had to replace them or whatever. I still have all stock axles in Mama Bear, and the Outlander stock axles I did switch out for some new axles just because we wanted to, but I have the stock axles and they're absolutely mint. Never broken an axle in my entire life. What tire does Cass have on her quad? So that is a 30 by 10 R12 sledgehammer. It's made by CST. Tri-Z back in the day here in Ontario in 86. Don's ATV Adventures. Yeah, so like there's definitely a handful of them around. They just seem to be way more common out west. I think Saskatchewan's technically west, central, whatever you want to call it. More west than Ontario. There's lots of them. What do you think Yamaha has in the works for new products on the ATV and side-by-side market? So right now it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of Japanese brands that are being a little more brave. So not too much, but they are participating in the big power market. So for the longest time, all of those Japanese companies like Kawasaki, Yamaha, well, not even Suzuki, they're pretty much out of the game at this point, Honda. So all of them didn't want to participate in the 1000s or sometimes even twins. They just wanted to be the reliable, easy to use, out of the box, great, runs forever, and known for it kind of machines. But now that Can-Am and Polaris and some of these other brands are kind of pushing the bill to really high power numbers, all of the other brands are kind of coming up into the 1000s, but they're keeping their power lower, so they're still very reliable. So they want to compete with each other lower than Can-Am and Polaris. Can-Am and Polaris are doing their own game. They want to do performance and crazy stuff, and they're basically creating off-road cars at this point. So that's basically what's going on. What are they going to do? I hope to see some bigger twins in some of these Japanese ATVs, but they're putting all of their money into side-by-sides because it's selling better, and it's a far more growing market than ATVs. So who knows? I'm hoping for a twin Yamaha Grizzly. I really am. Do you think I would get a Maverick or Commander? I don't know, to be honest. I think either one is perfectly fine. Like a Maverick Sport and Commander are essentially the exact same thing. Chassis, suspension, you name it. The only difference is some aftermarket goodies maybe. There's some molding and plastic differences. Obviously, there's a tilt box and that kind of stuff. A little more geared. So I look at the Commander kind of like the Outlander versus the Renegade. If the Maverick Sport or Maverick X3 is the Renegade, then the Commander is definitely the Outlander. It's got a little more utility, so I would probably land on a Commander. They're a little funny looking, but I could warm up to it. 70 plus in the feed. Is it really? How many people do we have in here? Viewer, I don't even know how to do this. Yeah, check that out. 75 concurrent viewers. Thanks everybody for sticking around. That's pretty wild. Oh geez, messages are flying in now. What's the farthest south that I've been? Well, I've traveled quite a bit around the world, so you're gonna have to be specific. I just use mine as moose hunting unit. I want to go farther and now rub the skid plates. I see what you're... Yeah. Right on. That's for the ear-lifted Yamaha. What's the next ride you both are going on? I missed the old style of videos with both cameras rolling and you just showing the majority of rides. So pretty soon I'm going to get out for some rides. I don't know when exactly, but I'm going to do my absolute best because trust me, I want to ride more than anyone one of these days. Have you guys thought about getting an old four-wheeler and maybe rebuilding it? I would absolutely love to do that. I just need the right machine to do it with, because I have to want to do it. I don't do anything that I don't want to do. I want to be excited and show you guys something that I'm excited about. It comes off a lot better. I try not to be fake, like a lot of people out there. I just want to have fun and enjoy the sport. And if you guys want to watch. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. Do your sledgehammer tires perform well on trails? They're not bad. You got to remember all mud tires suck on the trail. Some suck less, and I think sledgehammers are one of them. Naps and Prescott sells sledgehammers, CST, Wild Things, and Anklas. So yeah, people are probably still selling them, and I'm sure there's a bunch of them going around. What I was saying is I think the 12-inch rim size sledgehammers they're not producing them anymore. It's what I've heard. I don't know how true it is. Top Chat 87. I saw it was an old federal law that the Japanese is limited to a 750. Side-by-sides are limited to 1,000. So I've looked into that limitation on engine sizes, and there's no actual law dictating it. There is guidance, federal guidance in North America where basically every manufacturer, in order to fairly produce machines, has to fall within a certain criteria. And if anyone wants to push the bill and go a little higher, everyone has to have the same opportunity to do so. And it's basically to protect jobs and fair market and all that kind of stuff. So there's no actual law stopping anyone from producing any engine they want. And like Yamaha, for example, they don't put a lot of big engines in their machines, but if you actually look into how many engines they own and they can produce and are producing, they have 1200s and way above that. They could slam that into any machine they wanted to. Let's see. Thunder Bay. What's going on in Thunder Bay? I've been there a handful of times. Thunder Bay, Ontario. What's the best site to look for events? Looking for Ontario events. So to look for Ontario events, I think the easiest place, other than mudding events and stuff like that, you're better off looking local for those. But for events in general, OFATV, RCATV, all those ATV clubs, they have websites and they put up all of their events all the time. Do I YouTube full time? So I do a lot of things, if you guys are wondering what I do for a living. So Mainville ATV is just kind of a fun project that I do. We make some money there too. But we turned this all into a Mainville media business. So Mainville Media is our business where we do all sorts of stuff. Plenty of work on the side, all sorts of little projects going on. I've learned earlier in life that if you want to make decent money, make a lot of little money everywhere and diversify. So I'll pretty much do anything. I'm a mechanic by trade. Obviously, you guys know me. I'm ex-military, and we have all sorts of other stuff going on. I do little projects on the side, Mainville Media, Mainville ATV and Outdoors. We have the membership program below this video. You'll see the join button. That's one source. Amazon pays us a little bit. We're getting into that. There's all sorts of crazy things that you can do on the internet. So lots of little money, I like to call it. Diversify. Don't make money in one place. That's the way to do it. Where are we at? But sorry. To answer your original question, yes, I YouTube full-time technically. I also edit other YouTube channels. I edit videos. I do some photography. I do a lot of things. Can a G1 licensed driver drive a four-wheeler? I can't remember. So anyone over... So actually, kind of confusing. There's a couple brackets. So for Canada, and especially in Ontario, there's Crown land. In Crown land, any supervised child, I think above 12, can ride their own machines with parents. They aren't allowed to cross any roadways whatsoever. So they are allowed to ride. And then over 16, as long as you have any license, I believe you can cross a road. And then you have to abide by local laws. So if you are a full licensed driver, so assuming you're 17 and older, you can only ride on the road based on local bylaws. So a lot of Ontario, Northern Ontario, north of Highway 7 and above, there's plenty of places you can ride right on the side of the road, highways, whatever you want. Long time subscriber. This is Jeff Backcountry. Really, really enjoy your videos. Keep up the awesome work. I ride in the Madawaska, Barry's Bay area. My wife and I both ride. That's awesome, Jeff. That area is beautiful. Steve Brunke runs a local tour actually in that area, and he's a good friend of ours. Small business owner, wicked dude. Look him up. Valley Adventure Tours. He is literally in your backyard, Jeff. So take a look at that. Pretty awesome guy. He does some pretty wild stuff. How about trail tires? What do I prefer? I've only owned a handful of trail tires, and I feel really good about the motoclaws that I own. But to say that I know a lot about trail tires, I would be lying. I have my motoclaws that I got from dirtylife.ca. They're a great tire, and if there is better, awesome, but I'm really happy with those, so I'll probably just stick with that. Out my way in Maine, in the great US of A, we pretty much ride power lines, deep, deep holes. There's lots of power line riding, not so much here in Saskatchewan. There's a little bit. There's some skeg lines and stuff like that, especially in Ostercruiser's videos, but in Ontario, there's piles and piles of it. A lot of Northern Ontario where I lived is honestly a lot like Maine, Vermont. I've been to that area before. You're very welcome, Gecko family, about the G1 driving stuff. So I am not the law. Remember that. So if you're looking for stuff like that, I can absolutely tell you stuff, but I'm just some guy on the internet. Don't trust me. Do your research too, okay? What's your opinion on the Sedona Mutta Inline? I have no idea what tire that is, Taylor. I'm sorry. I've never seen that before in my life. I think you guys are doing a great job. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much. I would love to see more repair stuff. If possible, it's your show. Absolutely. I don't break things on purpose so that I can repair them and show it to you. So as things break, I promise you I will do repair videos. Yeah, so that's actually a great question that Cass brings up. Is there anything you would like to see while we can't actually go and physically ride? Do you want some sort of video reviewing something or a product or talk about something online? I can do all sorts of stuff right here in the office. I have a new setup, so I can do some interesting stuff here. So if you want to see something, please, please, please let us know, and we'll do our best to do something ATV side-by-side off-road related for you guys. They look like they would handle well in mud and be decent trail tire. The lugs don't seem to be spaced out a whole lot. So lug design, tire design in general, if you're looking at a mud tire, it'll always have some sort of V shape in one way or another. So pay attention to that, because that is a key sign that it is more trail than, or more mud than it is trail. Trail tires, on the other hand, they tend not to be very square. They're rounded. It makes it better in corners, a little softer. And they have lots of little lugs and grip and stuff like that. You air them down a little bit. You can do some rock crawling, things like that. They don't clear in mud very well. And they obviously generally don't have very tall lugs, so they can't scoop very well. But it makes them very light, nimble, and great for trail riding. What is a good beginner mud bike? I'm always a little biased in this answer because I love Can-Am so much. But I'm not sponsored or anything, so I don't really care. I do love the 570 and 650 Renegade Outlander platforms. It's a fantastic little twin. It's the best bang for your buck. It's the most horsepower to money ratio on what you spend. They come with all sorts of awesome options and more than enough to get the job done. Check those out. As far as Polaris and stuff goes, there's pretty cool sportsman models that kind of fit in those ranges too. Scrambler, I would avoid like the plague. I think it's pretty awful. That's pretty much it. Like you could have a good time on a Honda 4 or 500 or 520, whatever they are now. You could definitely have a blast on those, but you'll soon realize what its limitation is, especially even if you're a new rider. Within one season, you would see that machine's limited. It depends what you're all about. Will I try to collab with Ostacruiser? Absolutely, we will certainly try. He has a brand new house build going on, very busy people. Cass and I are also very busy. We have lots going on, but we are going to try. So go ahead and hit his comment section on YouTube and be on him. Tell him to hang out with Mainville ATV and Outdoors. We don't live far apart. We're like 2 hours away from each other or something like that. Love your shows. Thank you very much. I have a CF Moto 400 2017. I had so many problems, but does anyone want to buy it? Well, I don't think that's the best way to advertise it. CF Moto offers an interesting product for a certain demographic. If you're asking me about CF Moto, you're not going to like my opinion. At this point in time, anyway. That might change one day, and I'm hoping it does, because I want more and more companies to be involved. I want 100 different manufacturers, if possible. Hello, just saw the live stream. Welcome, Canuck Outdoors. How are you? Welcome to the stream. There is a good pile of you in here. We have had 617 people come through this stream. We have concurrent viewers anywhere between 65 and 85. Most people stick around for about 6 minutes. I can have little analytics here on the side that I can check out, which is really, really cool. I guess you guys are close to the Atlantic side of Canada. Not too far. Careful, there's wires. Cass is coming in.
I'm coming to say hi. I still exist.
You're going to get some Mainville logos on that nice new truck. We have a few things in the works. Let's put it that way. How's the Polaris snowmobile? Sorry, I forgot the name. So that is Project Mistress. Mindy, you're asking about the Polaris. So that's Cass's machine. We thought that was going to blow up the first ride, and it definitely didn't. It was an awesome machine. It's a bit of a turd. I know you like it, but...
She still starts full pull. First pull. Full pull.
First pull. Okay.
I'm good.
So, yeah. First pull. It's definitely a great machine. Maple Ridge. Oh, there's people talking to people in the chat. I see what's going on. Any plans on a project bike? Maybe a rebuild or cheap Kijiji buy? So that's been asked a few times. If I find the right project that I'm excited about, I absolutely will. It's been something on my mind.
Donations are welcome. Okay, I'm out. Peace.
I definitely need a sticker for my new unit. Get a hold of us on Facebook, our Facebook group, Facebook page. Just message us, even Instagram if you want, TikTok, DM us, and we'll make sure we get those out. It's definitely a bit of a turd, Gecko. But sometimes not so great units are the best units. There's something really fun about hopping on like an old, not so great machine. It's probably why I love Hondas, like older Hondas, so much. Every time I get on them, they just feel like a child's toy compared to the Outlander, especially an Outlander Max. Like, it's huge. Just got tuned in after a rib-eye supper. What's going on, James? James Fisher is a local here. He popped by. He's actually helped me out huge with camera gear. I'm actually using a lens that was his suggestion. Camera gear is crazy expensive. So he came over and laid out like, I don't know, $10,000 or more in lenses. And I got to try them out to figure out what lens that I actually needed instead of blowing money. So I got that on here. So big thank you to James Fisher in the chat. I really, really appreciate the viewers helping me out when they can. So how did you get the name Mainville? Sorry if that's a stupid question. Just subscribed not long ago. So Mainville is actually my last name. And obviously Cass's last name. We're married. So when I was young, my grandfather always told me that if you're proud of something, put your name on it. If it's your product, put your name on it. And if it's your business, put your name on it. It's a good way of making sure that you work very hard because your name is directly attached to it. So That's why it's Mainville ATV and Outdoors. So I put my name on it, and I'm very proud of what we do here. Bush Bash Betty for the Honda win. Oh, hey, Drake. So Drake Lau in the chat. That's one of our moderators. You guys have seen him on the videos. He's joined us in the chat. So if you have any questions about a Yamaha Grizzly 700, make sure to ask him. They also have a Honda, whatever the heck it is. I can't remember the name of the thing. Great little machine, though. Ask them about that. The chat is off a little bit. Whatever you can do for the area that you're in to repair stuff on the channel, that would be great. Yeah, so I'll do repair videos whenever I can. Like I said, I'm not going to break something just so I can fix it, but something breaks, which it definitely will, I will fix it and make a video for you. My dad. So Gecko family's asking about the trapping series. So my dad's been a trapper for, I don't know, longer than I've been alive, I'm pretty sure. So he's doing very, very well. Him and his wife are trapping still to this day. Since that trapping series, if you guys have watched it, he has that little trap cabin that's in all 6 videos. They're actually building a fantastic new cabin out there. It's basically a little house, but that's been their dream to do that forever and ever. And I think they're going to retire and disappear off the face of the earth out there. So very happy for them. And he says he's going to stop trapping, but I really, really doubt that. I think he's just going to find a different way to do it. Once a trapper, always a trapper. It's a dying breed. That's the craziest, most honest answer. Thanks for clearing that up. Oh, no, I appreciate it. I'm as honest as I can be without being rude. That's what I've learned in life. Love the trapping vids. So nice there. Yeah, we love doing the trapping series. We wanted to do a lot more of them, but obviously I live in Saskatchewan now, making it a lot harder. Even if I wanted to travel there, well, the world's a little more difficult to do that these days. It is good to hear that they are doing good. They're doing fantastic, so thanks for asking. Grew up on Hondas. Great machines never fail. Just bought an 850 XMR. Been waiting about 3 months. What's your top 3 upgrades or accessories you suggest? So I would say top 3 upgrades. Let's say money is not an object. I would do primary clutch, tires. Top 3 upgrades. Primary clutch, tires, and probably an exhaust. That way you get something that actually produces better power. I'm not saying more power, better power. That primary clutch is definitely the first thing you want to do. Tires will always give you the clearance and adapt to whatever your riding style is. So if you're a mud person, definitely get a mud tire. And third, get an exhaust, not because you actually make a whole lot of power with them. You might make a horsepower or 2, but because they sound cool and brap. So that's my top 3 upgrades. It's pretty much what I've said since the beginning. How do you feel about your dad driving a brute force? What do they call that thing? Baby Hulk? Yeah, so my dad drives an Arctic Cat and his wife drives the brute force. So they have the kitty cat and Baby Hulk. So the brute force is actually a fantastic little machine. They got a great deal on it off a neighbor, and I don't even think it has power steering or anything like that. But when Cass and I drove it, it was awesome. It was fantastic. I was really excited to ride it, and it was a lot of fun. And I think it was the only one that didn't break down. I can't remember. But yeah, fantastic machine. I think my dad needs to get rid of that Arctic Cat, though. Arctic Cat, absolute garbage machines, in my opinion. I wasn't sure, but are these live streams going to be a regular thing? So I would actually love to do more of these live streams. I don't know how often would be too often, but I think I could definitely pull one off like every month. I think that would be a good thing to do. I love talking to you guys and answering questions directly. And honestly, saves me a lot of time too. I get so many of the same questions over and over and over. So when I'm in a platform like this, I can just, have 75 people in the chat and answer those questions directly to all of you and get it done. So I like getting in touch with the people that are watching and supporting us, and I think it's awesome. So yeah, I think I will do more of these in the future. I just can't do them like every week or something like that because we would run out of things to talk about, I think. I'm not that interesting. So for those asking about me riding with ATV, I've ridden with ATV in the past, and we've done events with ATV in the past in Dirty Life. NOS ATV, Elemental ATV, all of those guys, we've done videos. So if you go far enough back, you'll find videos of us riding together. I bought a 2019 650 Outlander. This is from Mr. Lariata. And before break-in period, radiator fan left me in limp mode, and primary clutch went out around the same time. 2020 450 Can-Am center bolt broke at 78 miles. So I don't know what you're doing to those machines, if anything, but it sounds like you've got some lemons, unless you've done something that I'm unaware of. I don't know how those things would happen, but hey, I mean, when a machine's new, stuff like that does happen, and luckily warranty should cover that unless there's something I'm unaware of. Arctic scrap, yeah. I don't know what Articat's doing. I think they're just holding on for dear life, in my opinion. I don't know what their whole business plan is, but when it comes to ATVs and even side-by-sides, they tried to do new machines, and they did not pull it off. Even this year, they came out with a new ATV, more of a redesign, and it is nothing special, to be completely honest. I don't know how they're going to hold up. I think they're going to be another Suzuki in a couple more years. I think their snowmobiles are doing quite well, but I have no idea how they're still alive on the ATV side. Definitely not normal. Yeah, I agree with Maple Ridge, Mr. Lariata. A couple of lemons for sure on those machines. If I had lots of money, I would support you guys more. By no means do you have to throw money at me. I'm very happy to just make videos. It's what I want to do. If I make $1 million at this, fine, but I'm not going to beg for it. You don't have, just enjoy the videos, man. It's a big thank you for even the concept and idea, but by no means do you have to throw money at us. Where is Cass? Cass is in the other room. She's in the chat. You'll see Cassandra Mainville with a little moderator symbol. You can ask her some questions there. She is involved in the chat. I'd like to see more videos like top 5 or 10 best mods on a budget and things like that for the budget guys. I can't do it at 2,000 to 3,000 clutch and so on. Yes, so there's plenty of people out there like that, and certainly I can come up with a few modifications that can suit more budgets. There's a few, but honestly, the sport, it can get pretty expensive. The aftermarket's pretty wild. Even OEM, like their costs are through the roof. So I can definitely put a list together of some of the cheapest modifications. Some of them will be useful, but that's a good video idea. I'll see what I can do for you. Project Minion, Scott McTeer. Project Minion, sadly, Scott's machine, he sold that and he stopped riding. He wanted to do some other things and sold that machine. I think you're right. Their sleds are killing it. The Alpha one is insane. I suggest giving it a ride. So Scott, yeah, I would definitely try a Articat snowmobile. And to be honest, Yamaha and Articat, like the relationship is so close that either or is pretty similar. But the Alpha, I would definitely love to try in their snowmobiles. If I never sit on an Articat ATV or side-by-side ever in my life, I won't be sad. Love your channel. Thanks for being out there. Thanks for watching. As long as someone other than my mother is watching this channel, I will continue to make videos when I can. I know Kyle and Cass, but you guys are awesome, and I enjoy your videos more than others, to be honest. Well, I appreciate that you love the videos. Just keep watching, man. That's all you got to do. Watch the videos. Always hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed with the notifications on. That's all free things that you can do to support us. And you wouldn't believe how big of a deal that is. So always hit the like button, so we can get the algorithm gods going. Would you consider buying a Polaris Scrambler one day? Absolutely not. I think the Scramblers are awful. Love your channel. Watching from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia. Once upon a time, I used to live out there in Pugwash. Not too far from Halifax. I bought a Yoshimura exhaust because of Project Minion. I keep going back to watch those videos. So funny enough, that Yoshi, was actually on my Outlander first, and it was sitting around in the garage for a long, long time because I bought the RJ exhaust from Dirty Life. And when he bought that Outlander, I was like, perfect. I'll just throw that on his quad. So that's how we ended up getting that Yoshi. You get immediate hemorrhoids if you sit on one. Just stay clear. Walk instead if it comes down to it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to walk instead of riding an Arctic Cat. I see some people are getting along and finding each other in the chat. Everyone, I get a kick out of this, like everyone saying where they're from and what area they're from, and then someone else will chime in saying they're also from that area. Small world. It really is. There's like 3 or 4 of you going now. Good Lord. How many of you are from Nova Scotia? There's like 5 so far? Crazy. What do you want to make, Chris? You got to finish that sentence. Hello from Northern Ontario. How's it going? Richard Ferguson. A name that I can read. Nice. John Wright. Jack Canavan. Birch White. 954 Reef. Everyone I haven't said welcome to in the chat, welcome. How are you guys doing? Ask some questions. I'm here. I'm open. I'm an open book. Let's do it. I'm from Nova Scotia too. Okay, that's like 6. Would you suggest I get a tune for the Yoshimura? So I get that question more than anything on this planet. If you are buying a new machine, especially a performance machine, before anything, get a tune. Get a tune. ECU flash, however you're going to do it, get a tune. They're always running lean. They're always trying to meet emissions. There's a ton available performance sitting in the machine, cooling. There's so many benefits. So if you're going to get an exhaust, yeah, do it even more because you're leaning out the machine even more, high flow. So get a tune. And if you can, do it properly. Go to a dyno. DynoJet, anyone who runs DynoJet, they can do it. Preferably you get an exhaust that actually has the bungs and stuff in it. But yeah, get a proper tune on a dyno. That's the best way to go. You can get generic tunes that are great too, but the tippity top, the best way to do it, absolutely on a dyno. I am from the mountains of North Carolina. That is a state I have not been to, the Carolinas. I've been north and south of it. I am from Nova Scotia, but living in Ontario now. Caper XXC. So many Nova Scotians. I miss that place. I lived in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Spent a lot of time visiting PEI. I love that area. What I really miss is just going down to the dock and getting lobster like right there for like next to no money. That was awesome. Bring it home, boil them up, scream like a baby. Pennsylvania, USA, Philip Lukey. Welcome to the chat. How about the Kodiak? Would you suggest a tune? So the Kodiak's being a monopiston, all you really have to do is give them a hair more fuel just to keep them cooler. And that'll prevent a lot of performance issues and like your exhaust getting so hot that it's warping or melting plastics or heating up your legs, singeing off your hairs. So there's some benefits like that, but to make big power, it's just never going to happen. Not on a monopiston. It makes like 38 horsepower at the crank or something. It's not a lot of ponies. What do you think of the Polaris RS1? I don't like Polaris when it comes to ATVs, but I love them and I consider them when it comes to side-by-sides. I think the RS1 is super, super cool, but I would never own one just because I want a 2-seater so Cass could come with me or something like that. Because the odds of us getting 2 side-by-sides are pretty slim unless someone loans us one or gives us one or whatever. Hello, a few hours north of you. I just installed a Stage 3 Elkas from Dirty Life today, and thanks for the free hat. Yeah, so we actually, before this, it's not running anymore. Anyone who spent $500, every $500 at Dirty Life, you got a free hat or shirt of your choosing from Mainville ATV. So obviously, Wemft-Nos77, who's a few hours north of me, bought some Elkas and got a free hat. So congrats on that. You're very, very welcome, and I'm glad it worked out for you. Scott Dude, I said I hunt and fish and trap like your dad. Would you suggest something like that for the Kodiak? Oh yeah, it looks like Cass is handling that in the chat. Come to Maine and I'll buy you the famous Maine lobster. What's so different about lobster in Maine? Sell it to me, man. Give me the whole rundown, the best you've got for lobster in Maine. Sell it to me. I think I have yous on TikTok and, of course, Instagram. So, yeah, we're basically on every platform. The only ones we're kind of consistent, or we're really consistent on Instagram, Facebook group, Facebook page, and obviously YouTube. But we do have TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Tumblr, like you name it. I registered our name everywhere just in case one of those was important one day. John Wright has been watching for a year or more now and fully enjoy the videos. I had a 2001 354 tracks. Awesome machine. I so want one of those. Tough as nails, I agree. And I wish I had not sold it, but paid $700 and got $2,300. That sounds like you got some COVID cash. I don't know if you noticed, but the Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji and everything like that, everything's more expensive. It's crazy out there. I don't know how I said your name correctly, Philip, because I said it like 8 times in 8 different ways, but I'm glad you appreciate it. Exotic Gray, hello, welcome to the chat. Taylor Earthworks, would you consider buying a new Polaris General? General, absolutely. I would definitely consider it. Would I end up there? I don't think so, but I really enjoy the Yamaha R-Max, the Wolverine. And the General is directly its competitor, so I would be silly not to at least look at it. Did you say about your drones yet? Any upgrades? So yeah, we use the Maverick Air or Maverick Pro 2 drone, and I don't see us upgrading that. It is fantastic for how little we actually use a drone. But although when we do use it, it's awesome. I don't see myself upgrading that anytime soon. I got an Arctic Cat for free, and it has a blown transmission. Blown transmission or not, I'm glad you got it for free because it's an Arctic Cat. What tires would you suggest for a 650 XMR with stock floorboards? So the 650 XMR has pretty soft suspension. You don't really want to go too big. You definitely want to stick somewhere in the 29.5 by 8 range. I wouldn't want to go too big. If you do have floorboards, though, you might pull off a 32, but you'll have to tighten up that suspension. Because of how soft they are, you'll eventually rub. The 650s were super light. It doesn't get any better than Maine lobster. Why is everyone talking about Maine lobster? Is it that good? Do I need to go to Maine, get some lobster? People flock from all over just to eat our sacred crustaceans. Okay, all right. Well, you guys are making me really hungry, that's for sure. John Wright, Newfoundland has an old rail system converted to ATV trails, start east and go west. So I've actually looked into that, and it's on my bucket list to do that trail in Newfoundland. So one day I am going to do it. The problem is I don't know if I'm going to get out there and try to rent a machine or somehow drag my machine all the way out there, but it's a long drive. So Corey Courier, beats me. I don't eat seafood. We're not famous for much. Got to cling to something. All right, I hear you. Well, I currently live in Saskatchewan, so I hear you. This province doesn't have a whole lot to claim and the platform of the entire world. So I hear you, man. Cling on to those little things. I have a 2018 Sportsman 850 SP, and it has been good to me. Looked at a Can-Am, but the dealer I went to was like a Harley dealer. I didn't think I had the money to buy one. Any dealer, when you walk in there, if they judge you in any way, screw that place. Get out of there. Not worth your time. Go to a dealer that actually wants to sit down, talk to you, figure out what you actually need, and do it right. Treat you like a human being. One of the things that drives me nuts is when I go into a dealer and they won't talk to my wife because they just assume I'm always buying. Drives me crazy. I don't know if Maine lobster is good as North Carolina barbecue. Oh my God. Barbecue, that sounds so good. With vinegar-based barbecue sauce. Taylor Earthworks. Oh man, why did I have to do this at supper time? Maine lobster would be the same as Nova Scotia lobster, same water. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. That's funny about what Raptor asked. I'm glad everyone's enjoying the live chat. Just another quick reminder to make sure that subscribe button below this video is hit, and with the little notification bell, make it worthwhile. Stick around. We're going to do some really cool stuff. There's also the join button if you want to support us a little bit further. Some really cool perks. Make sure to have a look at that. Sorry, I'm an oddball. If you're not an oddball, you're not having fun. What else we got going on? I'm from Port Dover by Lake Erie. That comes from Miles Burkle. Welcome to the chat, fella. Lake Erie. Okay. I was going to say, I don't know where that is, but I know where Lake Erie is. We still have 70 concurrent viewers. We have had 926 people come in and leave at some point, which is pretty wild. We've maintained pretty much an average of 70 people in here. Could you imagine getting 70 people in a room? Like, that is a fair bit of people. I keep talking to you guys. My apple juice is getting warm. Great show. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Any updates on the trailer conversion? So we only had a few things to do for the trailer conversion. We're not going to make it like a full-on camper. We just really wanted to have a place to do some storage, electricity options, obviously, which is already done, and protect the floor from the ATVs and the carbides and everything like that. So from here, it's basically just little things. So if you have any suggestions for our big red trailer, have at it. Send them in. Let me see what you got going on. The one thing I still want to do is a 12-volt circuit and some solar power. So I'm going to tap that into the 110 and we'll do something cool. WHATV Adventures. Hello from Alberta. Hello from the other side. Hey, man. What's up? So do you have any plans on buying a new Can-Am? I'm always planning on buying things. Always. Am I always buying things? Somewhat true, but no. I have plans all the time to buy stuff. I don't have friends. This is my only form of human interaction. I don't think that's true, but you're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Brent Kua, Berta. The Berta. Not much to do in Nova Scotia. All locked down again. Yeah, a lot of Canada is kind of shuttered down, but we'll get through it. No big deal, eh? What's up from Michigan? Corey Flynn. Michigan. My grandparents are in Sault Ste. Marie, or Sioux, Michigan, some people call it. So I know Michigan a little bit. Great place. I crossed over the bridge many time. Do you like riding the Kodiak? I despise riding the Kodiak. I think it's cute for a little while, but to actually do any serious riding, I don't like it. Cass loves it, and she hates my quad. So that's why we own what we own. How do I like my Kubota tractor by Jean Paquette? So I love my subcompact tractor, my little baby tractor, 23 horse diesel. It has all the goodies that I could ever ask for. I only have 4 acres of land here. So you can't just really get that done with your traditional Canadian Tire lawnmower. It would take forever. If you want to maintain a property this size, this tractor is definitely the way to go. BX23S, fantastic tractor. Take a look at them. One of the people that I do videos for is actually a Kubota dealership, Huckabones Equipment. Take a look at them on YouTube. I do all their videos. So that's where I actually bought my tractor. Love the thing. Are we going to get through this? Yeah, we're going to get through this. If you're talking about the pandemic, absolutely we're going to get through this. Where's one place you love to go that you have not been to? Would love to go? One place that I would love to go. Actually, someone already mentioned it in this chat. As far as ATV-related places to go, I want to go to Newfoundland. Right behind that would be BC, which is more likely because I'm pretty close to it. I want to do a little bit of Alberta riding, maybe a little bit of... Oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. We might be shutting her down pretty soon. Are you guys still getting video and sound? Let me know what the video quality is looking like, if it's getting a little choppy on you. I don't know if my internet is giving up. Might have to end the stream pretty soon, the way this is looking. I don't have all other Instagrams and all that. Just have YouTube. Please don't go off YouTube. I'm not going anywhere. YouTube is the bread and butter. It's cutting out.
You were good. Now you're back. You just got like the circle of death.
It looks like the live stream is shutting down because my prairie internet sucks. There's not enough beavers to carry all the bits and bytes across the wires, so we might have to shut her down. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks for coming out to the chat. We will do this again soon. Make sure that you subscribe, like all the videos, and check out the join button while you're at it. There's some really cool features there. So we'll see you guys next time. Sorry we had to end it so soon.
Bye.
Bye.